Hello, my name is Elizabeth Hallows and I'm a physiotherapist and a moving and handling trainer and advisor, and I'm here today to go through some slings from the Osprey Sling Company. This demonstration that we're going to do now is using the Cressy Sling. I'll hold it up so that you can see the shape of the sling. The Cressy Sling has been designed with some specific features. One of them is a neck roll that's integral to the sling, which you'll see being used in a moment. And secondly is a slidey panel down the back of the sling, which means that we can introduce the sling either by rolling in the more normal way or by sliding the sling down from the person's shoulders. This sling comes in 9 sizes, 3 child sizes, 3 adult sizes and 3 bariatric sizes, and also comes with a 2-year warranty. So I'm going to use it now to hoist Paul from the bed and into a wheelchair with the help of Darren here, who's going to lend a hand. Right, Darren, we're going to roll Paul to get the sling under. So if I could ask you just to move his arm away, and that one. Could you put your hand on his hip and on his shoulder and just roll Paul towards you? Okay there, Paul?
Yes, fine.
Hold it there. And I will see if I can get that in just a bit higher. Okay, and then back towards me. That's it. Paul, if you bend this leg up for me now and bring your arm across. That's it, shoulder and hip. And back again, and we need to check whether you are central, which I think you are. Okay, I'm going to fix the leg straps on now. They come through easily with the sliding material. I'm going to pass the short blue through the short green like that, and I'll hold that there for you, Darren. Thank you. That's it. And here. We've got all these choices of loops to use, and it's one of the advantages of this sling, in that when you then write a care plan for this particular service user, you can state which colour leg loop to use, and it will be very clear to everybody who's got to follow that handling plan. For Paul, we're going to try using the longest loop, which is the blue colour. Okay. The shoulder loops are unusual on this sling, and they move as the person moves within the sling, and I'll show that to you in a moment, but there's not a choice of loops, so we don't need to write anything particular down for that. Okay, are you all right if I bring the hoist in now? Okay, the next job is to attach the sling up to the hoist. We've lowered the spreader bar down, and we're just going to easily attach the shoulder loop over the outside strap. We've got a choice of colours, and we usually would use one of the longest ones for the legs. And in Paul's case, we're going to try the blue and see what position he comes up in. And we attach that onto the spreader bar quite easily. Okay. Right, Paul, we're ready to go up now. Okay. Darren, would you mind just putting a hand under Paul's head as we start to go up? And I'm going to just keep a hand down here and pull this part of the sling away from the groin, just for extra comfort, really. Now, Paul, do you want to put your hands across your tummy again for me now? Thank you. Okay, you can just lift his head up slightly. Okay, Paul, you can relax your hands. Alright. Just watch Paul as he's coming up. You see that the sling brings Paul up into a sitting position. Is that okay, Paul?
It's fine.
Are you comfortable?
Mm.
And it sometimes helps to have a little wriggle. Just have a wriggle into the sling. That's better. So, I'm going to ask Paul now to push back as if he was perhaps resisting being hoisted or having an extension spasm. And let's see what happens to this long shoulder loop here. Okay, Paul, off you go. So you can see that even with a really massive movement from Paul, the sling absorbs the movement. The shoulder strap itself comes through the hoist. And what that means is that Paul's bottom is staying in the same place. Okay, Paul, thank you. With a standard sling, what tends to happen is that because this length is static, as the person pushes back, their bottom slides forward and potentially they can get further and further down in the sling, and it can become quite a dangerous position to be in. So this sling is designed specifically for those people who do push back or who spasm backwards. Either way, it comes to the same thing. Show us that one more time, Paul, please. Okay, I'm back again. And you can see that when he's relaxed back again, he's still in exactly the same position that he was in to start with. Thanks, Paul. Okay, Paul, we're going to move you across now to the wheelchair. We're going to go sideways. I've lined the wheelchair up such that I'm not going to have to do too much pushing back as I lower Paul down into this chair. The brakes of the wheelchair are on, and I'm going to gently push back. Now I'm going to stop for a moment because I'm not quite happy with my wheelchair position. Paul, would you hold that for me? And I'm just going to nudge this wheelchair a fraction further forward. Let's try again. That's better. You can see now the chair is slightly tipping. What that tells me is that Paul's back is against the chair, and I know then that I'm going to get his bottom right to the back of this chair, which is what my goal is. At this stage I need to get myself down so that I'm not in a stoop posture. Keep a steady back pressure on Paul. And down. Once his bottom is down and the chair has corrected itself back onto all four wheels, I'm next going to focus on the position of the spreader bar. Okay there, Paul. Yeah. Before I go any further, I want to check Paul's position in the chair, because if I'm not happy with it, then I'll have to go back up. So rather than come all the way down, I'm just going to stay there a moment, Paul, and I want to just see if I can feel whether you are fully back in this chair, which you are. Are you feeling comfortable like that?
Fine.
So we'll carry on down and pulling the spreader bar forward away from Paul's head. And I tend to bring the spreader bar down below Paul's face so that there's less likelihood of him hitting his face onto this. Take the straps off. And get the hoist out of the way pretty sharply. Now this sling needs to come out. It can't be left in place under Paul, because Paul will be sitting on the ridge of the sling, and that could cause pressure problems. So I'm undoing the leg straps as so, and then I need to get down again to look after my back in order to slide these leg straps out. Paul, could you put your foot on my leg, please? What that's done is open up a little gap here, and I can just fold the sling away from Paul and out, and the slippiness of the material helps that. I'm going to carry on forcing the material away from Paul as I take it right to the back on that side. Same thing exactly on this side now. Paul, that's it. So folding the sling under itself and pulling out, and then again trying to keep that feeling of pulling it away from Paul's skin to the back of the chair. Now, Paul may be able to sit himself forward, in which case I'd get him to do that, but it may just be that he needs a little assistance from me to do that, in order that I can then, with a quick pull, get the sling out. Okay, Paul, are you comfortable in your chair
Fine,
now?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we've used the Cressy Sling to hoist Paul from the bed into the chair. Other slings in the same range are the Flexi Sling. The Flexi Sling is similar to the Cressy Sling, except that it has a fixed head support rather than a neck roll. It also comes in the same 9 sizes as the Cressy Sling. 3 children, 3 adult and 3 bariatric sizes.